sometimes I say some pretty magical shit when I'm rolling down the street in my car. And I got a little drive on me today, so I thought I'd share some thoughts with you. This doesn't have anything to do with my business or any of that. This isn't going to be some video on like how to make money or something like that. We're going to talk about some serious shit today. So, I'm turning on the damn TV this morning. Before I could get the door of the Explorer, I had to go through one of the news channels as I'm flipping through, and the headline caught my attention. Damn marketers. Anyway, the headline was that there was this church in Plano, Texas, which is actually where I just moved to Dallas from and pretty much grew up and everything else. Said that they had passed a law in the city, which was pretty smart, allowing gay couples to attend any church that they want. Apparently, churches were discriminating against gay people. We'll get to that in a minute. But apparently, they passed this law allowing gay people to have equal rights, which should have been fucking assumed in the first place, in my opinion, but whatever, right? So back to the story. There were some pastors and preachers and stuff like that that were opposed to him. One of them was Ted Cruz's dad, so you know how Ted Cruz really feels. Just right there alone. You know the fruit don't fall far from the tree. So you know how Ted Cruz feels about gay people, right by that. Okay, second thing is, this Prestonwood Baptist Church, man, is a mega church. I mean, like, it's a mega church. It's so big that you walk by it and it's like an anomaly. It's like one of those temples in Mormon part of Utah, man. It's just like unbelievably huge. And the preacher there, he's outspoken against this whole letting gays into his thing too, right? Now I want to clarify some things about gay people. I've been in prison with people that were gay, so I've lived with gay people. The first person that ever trained me to do mortgages, my homeboy Claude, shout out, gay, all day long. One of my buddies, Chasen, his client, friend, we kick at the club together, gay. I've worked with Frederick Eklund, Josh Flagg, gay. None of these people, and I'm a good-looking son of a bitch, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. None of these people have ever propositioned to do anything with me. None of them have ever made any sexual advancements. None of them have ever even lightly brushed my hand. I give them hugs just like I give Sean Mathis or anybody else. They're just normal people that happen to like something else and have a preference in the bedroom different than I do. Now, one of the reasons why they may have never hit on me is because I don't give them any buying signals. They know me. They know I'm about as straight as a board. I like women with big tits and blonde hair, you know? But the people that are scared to have gay people in their lives are scared that they can be converted. You see what I'm saying? They have, truthfully, these homosexual tendencies deep down inside themselves that they've been repressed, and they're scared that if somebody gives them the closing sales pitch, they'll fall for it and be embarrassed amongst their church peers, family, friends, and whoever the else they think cares about them that obviously doesn't, because if they really cared about them, they wouldn't give a shit if they were gay or not. They would give a shit about them as a human being. Now back to the story. I posted about this because I think it's bullshit, right? They're trying to keep gay people out of church. The very people that preach equality and how Jesus was this all-knowing, all-loving, all-forgiving person, they sure got a lot of fucking rules, right? Like, it's not just 10 commandments. It's like our Constitution has, you know, however many articles, dude. I never claimed to be a smart person. But there's like 40,000 laws a year passed, amendments and shit on top of that. So Christians got a lot of amendments. 10 commandments don't say anything about not being gay, right? Doesn't say anything about that. It says don't murder, don't steal, don't covet, that kind of shit, right? Doesn't say anything about not being gay. But article number 3, chapter 14, blah, 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 in Leviticus says that also can be interpreted to mean this, that, or the other. And the truth is, in Leviticus, it says if man lie down with another man, he should be stoned. It just means that if you're going to have sex with another man, it's more enjoyable when you smoke some weed, guys. Like, you're just reading the Bible all wrong. Well, back to the story here. So these people are complete douchebag, hypocrite pieces of shit, like most of the big mega church preachers that you see. Same time, they want everybody to be equal, as long as they fit in that fucking box. Just like in America, you can be free as long as you abide by them 40,000 fucking rules they pass a year. You can come to our church and you should worship God and you can go to heaven as long as you abide by our rules. And if you don't abide by our rules, we'll discriminate you, make you an outcast, and fight to keep you from getting salvation if you're gay. Meanwhile, if you touch little fucking boys when they're 12 years old and they can't defend themselves, and you've done that for fucking decade after decade after decade, they'll let you back in. If you did methamphetamine with a fucking male prostitute, but you used to preach for him, they say, oh, well, he just had a moment of weakness, and they let you back in. It's time we stop having faith, right? And we start having logic. I mean, think about it. Noah's Ark. Let's just say that that shit didn't really happen the way that it's perceived. Let's just say that Noah was in an area that flooded. He built a ship. After the ship landed, he goes to another land because Noah was a drunk. Even in the Bible, it didn't say Noah was a special man. It says Noah was a drunk. So say Noah's drunk ass comes up with a great idea one night, runs 2 countries over. And back then, the world they thought was flat. They thought the God Ra rolled across the sky. They didn't know shit. And he tells the people, he brings his livestock with him in case he gets stuck in the desert. And he tells the people, I come from a mystical land. Because people were fucking stupid back then. They didn't know any better. They'd never been anywhere else. I come from a mystical land, and I've brought these animals with me because water came from the ground and flooded. Do you think maybe they didn't know how it rained back then because there's no fucking rain in the desert? Maybe they thought water came from the ground because all they'd ever see is fucking rivers because it doesn't rain in the middle of the goddamn desert. I'm just saying. And so Noah shows up with his livestock and says, I brought 2 of every animal from this mystic land that I've lived in. And they're all, wow, man, he's got chickens and cows and donkeys. We never seen that shit. All we got over here is fucking camels. This dude must have, the story about this place flooding and stuff. This is amazing. Somebody should write this shit down and make sure it goes in a book somewhere for the history records. And you know as well as I do, one person tells a story, another person tells a story, and all of a sudden Noah was this mystified individual. So I just want you to think, man, before you just keep buying into all these bullshit money the preachers take from you, all this bullshit fit inside our box that religion, I don't care, I'm not just picking on Christians. That's the religion I know the most about. I don't like any of them. But I'm just saying, maybe it's time you motherfuckers start applying some logic to your life. And maybe if you stop depending on some magical dude in the sky to solve all your problems and you actually go out and fucking handle your own business, your problems will go away. That's what happened for me. I love you guys, man. I know some of y'all are going to hate me for sending this video out here. But the truth is, I'd rather stand alone for what I believe in than be surrounded by fake-ass people that don't even have a real belief. What's that remind you of?